Hi, I'm Turk Strongman at Thuran Kirama Chiraka. Thank you for selecting this fourth video in this series, High Order Thinking in Mystical Narrative. In this video, we'll talk about how the story that we're working with here sets a mood, how its mood gets set, its tone, its mood and mode, let's say, in the first two paragraphs, which are both brief. We'll take a look at that, but first, subscribe to the channel, activate the notification bell feature, share the joy of the channel with others by giving this one a thumb up. It's a good start. And comment courteously below. Now, let's go on. As stated in the prior video, the immediately preceding video at the end, something had happened to make the story work. Has to be decided very early on, or shown, demonstrated early in the story for the audience, to the audience, that this is a mystical narrative. That there's an event to unfold here, and is kind of mystical in its nature. In other words, like maybe a depth mystical experience happening or being described, okay, narrated in the story by one of the characters, in fact, might be telling it, or it might be happening right then. We have that idea, all right? And there may be some esoteric concepts tossed around. We needed to get this anticipation off the ground. All right, so how did we do it? We start out with Stockton's best friend, Mulder. Wagged his tail back and forth. The entire rear half of his body wagged with it. The two of them looked out through their screen door. I stepped onto their broad wooden porch and slowly crossed it with my Cuban-heeled, point-toed, low-cut boots on that I picked up a long time ago in New York City. Stockton looked down at his little companion and smoothly paraphrased from an old song we used to play a lot in our younger years. Mulder, that sound you're hearing right now, that's the sound of the low spark of high-heeled boys. Well, okay, there we go. There's a lot in there to set an atmosphere and an anticipation, an expectation of what sort of thing may now unfold. First of all, Stockton's best friend. Now that's either his best friend forever, like a real brother to him, or his dog, man's best friend. Stockton is a man's name. Best friend, Mulder. So, all right. We don't know yet if this is some guy named Mulder or what, but the name Mulder being also the name of the world-famous TV show character, Agent Mulder of the X-Files show, played by David Duchovny, right, is associated with the paranormal. Perhaps the mystical in some sense, as in not very high-order mystical, but mysterious, paranormal. Well, paranormal is mysterious. Okay, I hope in my fumbling just now I'm making my point. Mulder is associated with something mysterious, at least, if not a bit mystical, or of an occult nature, okay? Like hidden in plain sight nature, too. And where things appear to be one thing, but they're actually another. Well, all right. Where they're called something that they're not. All right. Mulder. He's associated with that kind of stuff, right? Wagged his tail back and forth. Oh my God! Yeah, it's a dog. Ah. Okay, so it's an animal action, an animal, man's best friend, wagging his tail back and forth. Okay, now there's a mental image. In fact, a moving one. You know, a friendly one, but associated with his name, Mulder. Probably a very subconscious impression forming at the moment. The entire rear half of his body wagged with it. Oh, geez, you know. Now that's catching. That's definitely attention catching. Okay, now we're getting our attention in here. The entire rear half. Now we kind of get the idea that it might be a small-ish dog. You know, huge dogs rarely wag the entire rear half of their body. I mean, unless they're just like I don't know what kind of a dog might do that. A big one? Irish setter? No, I don't know. I have no idea. But it's kind of like a small, medium-sized dog thing to do. Now, the two of them, Stockton and Mulder. Oh, and Mulder's excited. All right. So, here's the first hint of a way something, of the way a living creature feels. It's excitement and anticipation. Okay. The two of them look out through the screen door. I stepped on their broad wooden porch. This is out in the country. Yeah, this is out in the country. Pretty much. Broad wooden porch. A screen door. You know, probably a medium-sized house. Maybe even a large-sized house, depending on its age, its era of construction. A broad wooden porch, not a concrete porch. Slowly crossed it with my Cuban-heeled, point-toed, low-cut boots on that I'd picked up a long time ago in New York City. Okay, so here's this guy, right? First person in the narrative. Out here in this house, in the outskirts, broad wooden porch, slowly crossed it. Casually strode, we could say, with my Cuban-heeled, point-toed, low-cut boots on. Wow. Now there's an image. Something like these shoes, actually. Except this is shoes. But you see the Cuban heel? Right? It gets narrower as it goes down. It curves in everywhere. But these are shoes. Right? Point-toed. Yeah. Fence climbers. That's right. Kill cockroaches in the corners. All right. But the story says, where is it? Yeah. Cuban-heeled, low-cut boots on. Well, these are shoes, right? So low-cut boots would be maybe up to about here. Maybe with a buckle going across. I had a pair like that, actually, a boots. And the heels would be higher because they're boots. So it would be like cowboy heel. Cuban style, though. Just another couple layers of leather here. Right? About like that. Right? And then up to about here. Just over the ankles. All right. There. That's what we're talking about. Boots on that I picked up a long time ago in New York City. So here's this guy striding across this porch here. And a long time ago, in other words, many events in life back, New York City. So there's some kind of like city slicker guy too, maybe a little bit, but his life has been an adventure. Just seems to be that kind of a guy. Okay, so Stockton looked down at his little companion and smoothly paraphrased from an old song we used to play a lot in our younger years. Mulder. That sound you're hearing right now, that's the sound of the low spark of high-heeled boys. All right, so what sound? It's the sound of those heels on the wooden porch. Some slowly paced footsteps. You know? Like that. All right, that sound, you know, coming across that wooden porch. And Stockton looks down and tells his dog, Mulder, that sound you're hearing right now, that's the sound of the low spark of high-heeled boys. Now, the low spark of high-heeled boys, a sound being the sound of the low spark of high-heeled boys. These are boys that are definitely boys. High-heeled boys. And this is what we might be talking about right here. The ones I described to you that look more boot-like than that. High-heeled boys. Right? Yeah. What kind of youth or young men are they? Rather adventurous, right? Mysterious. Might go just about anywhere, do just about anything, and walk right through it all. All right. Mysterious a little, but remember, that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for mystical. Well, there is a mystical feel right there. It's a conceptual and abstract employment of thinking. The low spark of high-heeled boys. There's a mood that goes with that, an atmosphere, a mode. This is how we first have built in the anticipation, the promise of, the expectation of, and an introduction into high-order thinking in mystical narrative being established as early as possible in the story. There we go. In the next video, we'll go to, I'm not sure where, so we'll find out in the next video, where I'll see you next. All right? Thumb up, subscribe, get notified, comment courteously below. Hope you're liking this so far. See you in the next one. Be well.